Good Saturday morning. I'm KHOU Meteorologist Chris Ramirez. We're already starting off at 83 degrees here across the Houston area. As we go into the afternoon, it's going to be quite hot, muggy, even hazy across our area as we head into tomorrow as well. So here's what I'm tracking. We're tracking that heat building for the weekend. Feels like temps ranging between 103 to 110 degrees. And then we're tracking a wet pattern in store for next week. Yes, another round of unsettled weather, as well as some widespread rain chances. We're going to have to really keep an eye on those rain accumulations heading into next Wednesday and Thursday. But we are expecting today to be quite hot. For the next 12 hours, high temps topping out in the upper 90s, 96 by the 2 p.m. hour, 3 p.m., 97 degrees. Just keep in mind that if you are planning to spend time outdoors, practice those heat safety measures. We're going to be up to about 98 for today, 99 for tomorrow, possibly breaking some high temperature records for this weekend. The coolest place to be, of course, along the coast and at the beach, because we're going to see those highs in the upper 80s out in Galveston. Waters are expected to be calm, especially out in the Gulf. So as we look at the dust forecast, we are expecting that plume to be in place for today. It will start tapering off later this afternoon, but we will see it to be mostly just a little more hazy as we go into the start of next week. But we are expecting this rain that's in store for next week to, of course, limit that haze for the time being, especially as we go into Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. So current air quality right now, moderate. I don't know if you're feeling it out there, but we are seeing some lower air quality levels across Southeast Texas, all thanks to this haze. So as we look at future track, mostly sunny skies expected. Might see a few clouds, maybe a stray shower or two in some locations, but not really seeing any rain chance for this weekend. Just the hot, muggy conditions that's going to be in place heading into for at least Sunday afternoon. So when you factor in the humidity, this is how hot it's going to feel like today. Feeling like 104 at Bush Airport, 104 in Conroe, 103 in Pasadena, 104 out in Columbus, and then just hotter for tomorrow. We can expect to see those heat indices or feels like temps ranging between 107 to 110 in some locations, especially for Sunday afternoon. So this is really, these temperatures are really what we're supposed to see during the months of late July and August, but it's actually come quite early this season, for especially as we head closer into the summer months. So as we look at the heat index impacts, of course, there's a sciencey equation that's involved when it comes to how your body deals with the humidity. Just keep in mind that when we do endure humidity level or heat index levels between 103 to 124, you could get heat stroke, heat cramps, and heat exhaustion likely if you are not taking those necessary heat precautions and those heat safety measures. So limit your time outdoors, maybe take frequent breaks, stay hydrated, find some shade. If you are planning to be out and about, always wear that sunscreen, find shade, and stay hydrated, the key components of staying safe during these hot months when we're dealing with these hot and muggy conditions. Also, look before you lock. When the air temperature outside is at 95 degrees, just after 10 minutes, it gets up to 114. After 20 minutes, 124. After 30 minutes, up to 129. You're able to see that trend. After 40 minutes, 133 degrees. 50 minutes, 136. That's the temperature inside of your car. So definitely maybe leave a reminder, or probably just be safe out there and watch out for pets and children going into the afternoon hours, especially when we deal with these hot and sunny conditions. So here's what the weather pattern looks like. We have high pressure system building for the weekend. That is going to keep us mostly sunny and just muggy and humid for the next 48 hours. I'm going to go ahead and start that graphic over. Just that high pressure system keeping things mostly just hot and clear. It will start building back off towards the west going into Sunday and into Monday. And then once that happens, we are going to be tracking this very slow moving cold front that is going to be in place starting on Tuesday. Weather models have backed off a bit on the rain potential for Tuesday. We might see still some scattered showers and storms, but it's looking more likely that they're trending that we're going to see more of the widespread rain starting on maybe Wednesday and Thursday. So scattered storms likely for Tuesday, lasting through Wednesday. Each and every day next week starting on Tuesday is going to have that widespread rain potential. So we're going to have to keep an eye on those rain accumulations as well as those low-lying areas, especially when it comes to potential flooding. So unsettled weather bringing us rain chances for the next few days for next week. but we could see quite a bit of rain at that. So as you look at the expected rain totals, we are expecting a widespread outlook between 1 to 2 inches of rain across southeast Texas. We can't rule out some isolated areas actually receiving between 3 and 5 inches of rain. So when it comes to the rain accumulations, of course, take the location, usually where you see the yellow or the orange colors, that's the higher rain chance. Take that location as a grain of salt. It could very well easily be from Houston and Galveston going into the next few days for Tuesday through at least next Friday. So as we look at the drought report, the good news is this was released this past Thursday. We are showing good signs in securing our spot and not enduring drought conditions. So we are in good standing. Not the case for areas out towards the west, especially in and around the San Antonio area, but moderate drought still in place for Columbus, but Houston not enduring any drought. We are still seeing some healthy amounts of rain that's keeping our soil saturated here as we head closer towards the summer months. So as far as the temperature outlook, the Climate Prediction Center including above normal temperatures expected from June 13th to June 17th. So our high for this time of year usually around maybe 92 degrees, and we're going to be far above that at least for the rest of this weekend. The reason why you're seeing that cool down for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is because of the rain potential that's going to be there. We're not going to see much relief in terms of I know I mentioned cold front earlier in this live stream, but just keep in mind that's that rain potential that's going to cool us down into the 80s. We're going to be back into the 90s by next weekend, but we are expecting mostly quiet conditions, especially out in the tropics. The good news, no storms expected over the next 7 days. We are still tracking a hurricane season as we go into the next few days, so just keep in mind that this runs from November 30th. So for your 7-day forecast, hot weekend, highs in the upper 90s, feels like temps ranging between 104 to 107, even up to 110 for tomorrow. And then once we head into Monday, we could see some isolated showers. Tuesday and Wednesday is when that rain potential starts becoming a bit more widespread. That's when we're going to really have to keep an eye on the potential for ponding on roadways and some flooding in some locations. We saw that little bit of rain that happened about a few days ago. It's not going to take much to cause that flooding in some locations, especially those low-lying areas and those poor drainage areas. So if you're just not joining the stream, we are tracking the heat for this afternoon. That's going to be a rather hazy, sweltering hot day. This is a day that we usually see during the months of late July and August, and so the heat has come early. It's not going to last too long. It's just going to be a hot weekend, but feels like temps ranging between 103 to 104 degrees, up to 106 to 109, even up to 110 heading into tomorrow. So keep that in mind when it comes to heat safety. Practice that heat safety, stay hydrated, especially if you are in a pool. Even though you're in the water and you're probably cooler, you can still become dehydrated. So make sure to stay hydrated with fresh filtered water if you are in a pool, not the pool water. But as we look at the heat index impacts, we're expecting a forecasted heat index between 103 to 110 for this weekend. If you are not taking those necessary heat precautions and you are not really exercising that heat safety, you could get a heat stroke, heat cramps, and heat exhaustion very likely. So pay attention to those symptoms if you are spending time outdoors. If you're feeling something, maybe you just want to head indoors and take a break from the heat, as it's expected to be very hot for this time of year, especially for this weekend. Wear that sunscreen, find shade, stay hydrated, mainly with the water, not with those sodas or sugary drinks that could make you a bit sick. Also look before you log. It doesn't take much for the heat to rise inside of a car. Just after 30 minutes, it can get up to 129 degrees inside of a car, even if the outside temps is 95. And we are expecting our forecasted high for this afternoon to be around 96 and 97. So there's going to be a few degrees warmer of these temperatures that you see up here on this bar graph, up to 136 just after 50 minutes. So very hot conditions expected for today. That's for this weekend. That heat ridge, that ridge of high pressure, it's going to start building back off towards the west. And once that happens, we're going to see this frontal boundary very slowly sag southward over southeast Texas. And that's going to bring rain chances. Could see some isolated showers for Monday, but Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is going to be the 3 days that we're going to have to really pay attention to these rain accumulations, because we could see widespread rain impacts and some storms heading into much of next week, and that could cause a messy commute, wet roadways, hazardous conditions, and definitely just a messy outlook, especially for next week starting on Tuesday, as that rain chance is going to be lingering at least through Friday. And like I said before, we could see between 1 to 2 inches of rain in some locations. Some isolated areas could get up to 3 to 5. And of course, if you're new to Houston or if you've been here in Houston, just a reminder, it doesn't take much to flood in some locations, especially those low-lying areas and those bayous and those creeks here across our area. We are really flat and there's a lot of concrete here across the city of Houston. So just be extra cautious on those weather concerns going into Tuesday through Thursday of next week. Like I said, the good news, we are secure in terms of the drought conditions, not enduring that drought that you're dealing with out west, out near San Antonio and portions of south central Texas, but we are expecting those high temps to remain mostly hot for the weekend, a bit cooler, all thanks to those rain chances for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but tropics looking mostly quiet. We're not having to worry about anything at least for the next 7 days, but just an important reminder, always stay prepared and pay attention to the tropics. And we usually give these updates out with every weathercast that we do. As far as your 7-day forecast, highs in the 80s, or actually highs in the 90s, 98 for tomorrow, 97 for today. Feels like temps, it's the humidity that's going to cause the feels like temps or the heat index to range between 104 to 110. We will start seeing isolated showers build back in by Monday. And like I said, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, the days that we're really going to have to pay attention to those rain accumulations, because models are indicating that we could see widespread rain and storms for next week, and that could bring us some possible ponding on roadways and then becoming a bit more isolated as we go into Friday, but definitely expecting a rather active next 7 days in terms of our weather forecast. We're going to go from the heat back to the rain, and so definitely stay up to date with the latest trends in that as we go into the next few days. And of course, we're always giving you the latest weather updates on KHOU.com, and you can access this live stream and future live streams on the KHOU 11 app. Again, I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Chris Ramirez with your